I always said, after having been public editor during the 2004 presidential campaign, if you ever want to be public editor of the Times, don't do it during a presidential campaign, because the intensity of feeling on both sides, you cannot win. If I may cite an example, the Times ran a picture in the summer of 2004, maybe it was September of 2004, of George W. Bush on the front page giving a speech to a rally. And the sun was shining and he looked great and he had a smile on his face. And I was overwhelmed that day with complaints from readers saying, here the Times is in the bag for Bush. They're just putting Bush, smiling, looking great on the front page, and that shows that they're for them. And I had a really simple answer to them. Look at yesterday's paper, which had a picture of John Kerry, virtually the same photograph. But they didn't notice that one because it conformed to their view of the world. If it conforms to your view of the world, you accept it as fact. You don't even notice it. It's just there. Whereas if it doesn't conform, you think it's biased. And of course, in the hyperventilated, overheated, hyper-technologized world we live in now, it is just so much worse, so much more intense. And there's a kind of a conundrum here. I think never before has it been more necessary for organizations like the Times to have a public editor. They eliminated the job a few years ago. Most newspapers have them. There are very few left in the country. Never has it been more necessary to have them, and never would the job be so horrible as it would be today. I can't imagine. I mean, the abuse that I absorbed or deflected when I was there, I thought was really intense. And it was nothing compared to what it would be today. So what can the average citizen do? The State University of New York at Stony Brook devised a project a few years ago called the News Literacy Program. And it's now taught in quite a few high schools around the country, some colleges. And I wish that all civilians would be aware of it and could take it, because it does tell you how to read, not what to read, but how to read what you're reading, what you need to know so that you're able to judge the authority and the accuracy of what you're reading. It's really become essential. We used to have, this country, this is hardly original with me, we had three voices. We had the ABC, CBS, and the NBC Evening News, which were overwhelmingly what everybody got their news from. Now, it's true that they got a lot of their news from the New York Times. So the Times was being spread. Today, the audience is so fractionated. Everybody finds the news that tells them what they already believe to be the case. All my liberal Democratic friends watch MSNBC so that they can be told that they're right. If I had a lot of conservative Republican friends, I could probably say the same thing about them about Fox. It's pointless. I get a phone call, did you hear what Rachel said last night? Well, I admire Rachel Maddow. I think that she's a really smart woman. What she said last night was something that you wanted to hear. And I find that an utter waste of intellectual energy and political passion. I think that we need to read and to heed those things that might surprise us. And it just happens too rarely.